o'clock and calling this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Brooks.
Here.
Mr. Brown. Here. Mr. Kroll.
Here, sorry, I was muted. I'm here.
Mr. Davis. Mrs. Davis, sorry. Here. Mr. G. Francesco.
Here.
Mr. Johnston.
Here.
Mr. Lynch.
Here.
Mr. Blaski.
Here.
Mr. Vogt.
Here. Approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
We have a couple student presentations. First place winner states for aesthetics. Trista Robinson, could you come up? Trista's heading to Atlanta, Georgia this summer to compete at nationals. Mr. Baker has an award for you. Congratulations, thank you so much. I appreciate it, everything you can do. Could you share with us exactly what you've done? I know you passed around some artifacts here, and certainly we can place them up or I'll hold them up or something, but go ahead.
Hi, I'm Trista Robinson. I'm a senior at Newport High School as well as the Crawford County Career and Technical Center, where I take cosmetology. So just recently I was given the opportunity to compete at the state level for Skills USA for aesthetics. So a little bit about cosmetology. There are three main categories. There's the hair, and then the nails, and then the aesthetics, which is makeup and skincare. So at the competition, I did aesthetics. So kind of the scope of the competition, there's a lot of different things that go along with it, but I did an oral presentation explaining my makeup, and then I did 100 question multiple choice on my aesthetic knowledge, skincare knowledge, basically everything. And then a daytime makeup, a fantasy makeup, and then a facial. So as you see all the pictures, those are the fantasy makeup, that'd be my favorite. So now I get to go on to nationals and compete one person from every state for the aesthetics. So in Georgia and Duke.
So congratulations. So do you have to do the same? Do you have to, I don't know if everybody can see this, but do you have to do the same?
So the theme is the same. Our theme was Disney for the fantasy makeup. I'm choosing to stick with it because I've spent a lot of time running through that, so I just want to better it and keep practicing and improving with the time that I get to. So.
All right, well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And I wish you luck in Georgia.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. It's okay.
Ms. Hedrick, could you come up and talk about journalism, please?
Good evening. I'm Stacy Hedrick, Journalism Advisor. It's been a very successful year for writing. I'd like to honor some students. I'd like to start with the American Legion Essay Contest, which I have done with the students for about 20 years. This year's theme was, what does the 19th Amendment mean to me? And we had 30 students enter, and they were judged at Post 205 in Sagertown. Post 205 has been very, very supportive of the journalism program at Sagertown, and we are very thankful for their continued support. Shout out to Commander Dan Cole. So one of my students who was a runner-up is here to accept the awards on behalf of all of them. So Alyssa Arblaster, please come forward. She's one of the runners-up. And there's no line up right there. It's just line up. Okay, and the others, Alexis Clayton won first place, and Nola Zook, Ella Totten, and Sadie Pollock were the other recognized writers for the American Legion Essay Contest this year. Thank you for that. Stay up there, I'm going to get a picture of all of you. Next, my students entered the statewide contest for the Pennsylvania News Media Association. One is called It Can Wait, and it is about the dangers of texting and driving. And the other one is the Stop Cyberbullying Essay Contest. They received $150 each for their third place statewide entries. Neither of them were able to be here tonight, but Alyssa is going to hang on to their certificates for them. So Zane Ebach, third place in the Stop Cyberbullying contest, and Nola Zook, third place in the PNA It Can Wait contest. Congratulations to them. And finally, we had 7 students qualify for the Pennsylvania School Press Association Journalism Championships at Penn State main campus on March 30th. And coming home from that competition, I would like to honor the following, if you want to come up. Stand here beside me for a minute, then we'll get the picture. So to begin with, Paisley Mangold is editor-in-chief of the PENNCREST. She is a third-year journalist, and she has been placed second place in editorial cartoon. And this is Royal Miller. He is a first-year journalist at Sagertown High School and has had a very exciting and action-packed year. And he was second place in the state of Pennsylvania for broadcast script writing. Congratulations, Royal. The other students who were represented at states, Josie Dieter was third place for yearbook design. Natalie Slee was fifth place for literary magazine artwork. Evan Barrickman was sixth place for sports writing. Camden Jovic was fourth place for yearbook photography. And Luthia Sweeney was third place for newspaper photography. Funny story there, Luthia forgot to submit one of her captions, and the judge told her that if she had done that, she would have been first place in the state. So we'll live and learn for next year. Congratulations to all of the student journalists. Get the photo, Lauren.
I can do it. No. I swear I can do it. It's done.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations again. Ms. Book, could you come up and talk about girls wrestling for us?
Most definitely. Good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Mook, and I was able to help out with the girls wrestling program this year. Thank you to Dr. Glasspool, the school board members, Danny Mason, coaches, and all of those involved in the girls wrestling, and for giving them the opportunity. It has been an honor to be involved in this upcoming sport. We have 4 talented young ladies who qualified and wrestled at the state varsity level amongst 400 other female wrestlers from across the state. We would like to recognize them at this time. From Cambridge, although she was not able to be here, we still want to recognize Chelsea Wilson, and she is in 9th grade. And then from Sagertown High School, we have Kylie Stafford, 10th grade. And we have Casey Mook, 10th grade. And we have Alori Dillinger from 10th grade as well. These girls, they only recognize the top 6 positions. Otherwise, they would have either placed 7th or 8th amongst those 41 girls. Good job, ladies.
Congratulations again. Student representatives, I believe Lauren Edwards has a report for us this evening.
Hello. My name is Lynn Edwards, and I am here to update you on what is happening at Sagertown High School. Sagertown Senior High School was awarded a $500 Amazon gift card for having the most student logins in northwestern Pennsylvania for the 2022 JA Inspire Virtual Career Fair. Sagertown senior Carly Stewart has been awarded a $1,000 scholarship from the Pennsylvania School Counselor Association. She wrote an essay honoring guidance counselor Christy Mobile that was selected from 135 entries from across the state. Students from Chris Greco's AP Biology class participated in a tree planting community service project today. They planted around 100 trees on the banks of Jordan Park, Erie Street baseball fields. The trees were provided by Crawford County Conservation District. Teachers Chris Greco and Adam Horn took 2 teams to the Environment recently. The teams took 3rd and 4th place overall. Today was the final AP exam for this year. Sagertown students have taken 115 AP exams this year. 6 years ago, before new AP classes were added, 25 AP exams were given at SHS and only 2 subjects. We are proud to have so many students taking rigorous courses. Keystone exams will be administered next week in algebra, literature, and biology. We look forward to seeing how the students perform. Sagertown's prom will be May 20th, and the concourse at Union Station in Erie. Miss Cassidy Cravick is the new prom advisor this year. And this year's theme is A Night Dripping in Luxury. Student teams are doing well. Baseball team is currently 12-1 in the region, and softball team is 9-1 in Region 2. Boys volleyball senior night is tonight as they face against Cash. The current region record is 6-3. Thank you for receiving. Tonight you are receiving issue 4 of the PENNCREST. The senior issue will be released on June 3rd. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to updating you next month. You can find regular updates about what's happening at Sagertown at the PENNCREST.com.
Thank you so much. The last presentation is Mr. Baker, Mr. Young. It's the last of the school presentations. Mr. Baker, you want to stand before I play the video? Mr. Young?
I've got a couple words. Board members, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come in and showcase what we've got going on at Sagertown High School. You hear about all the athletics in the newspapers, and you also hear about all these academic achievements, but there's one thing that's missing that you don't get a chance to see, and that's all the student clubs and organizations that we have at Sagertown. So the video tonight is going to help portray all those student clubs that we have. Thank you.
Can anybody hear that?
I'm Ava Brenner. I'm the president of the Diamond Science Club. It is myself and 3 other officers, along with our 2 advisors, Ms. Woods and Ms. Peters. Inside of school, we clean recycling bins, we sell diamond stars, and we design and create diamond science themed t-shirts. Outside of schools, we use the funds from the diamond stars and the t-shirts to fund our end-of-the-year field trip weekend.
Hi, my name is Rachel White. I'm the president of Key Club. Along with me, there's a co-president, Sadie Pollock, our advisor on our lead, as well as a couple other officers that help us out. We do have pajama days inside the school, which is just a little fundraiser we do, $1 for pajamas and a hat if you choose. And also, we like to hand out candy on holidays such as Valentine's Day. We hand out the Valentine's lollipops, and we go down to the elementary school and do fundraisers with them. We actually just finished an Easter egg hunt, which all of them enjoyed. As for outside of school, we clean the parking ride every year. It's a very fun event. We even have a little sign we take a picture after, and as well as we have a little library at the Sagertown Laundromat where you can trade and exchange books if you get bored, specifically for kids. But yeah.
My name is Emma McAdam. I'm the president of the Campus Club. It consists of me and one other officer. Our advisor is Mr. Wise, and we meet every 2 weeks inside of school to have Bible study together. And outside of school, we were wanting to get together as a group to do something fun together.
Hi, my name is Hunter Frazier, and I am the president of the Yeoman Service Club here at Sagertown. what activities we're going to plan for after school or for during school, what we're going to do for the community, and everything else that is involved with the club. And so far after school, we have passed out candy canes in the community and at nursing homes, and that's all.
I'm Paisley Mangold, and I'm the president of Spanish Club. I have 3 officers working alongside of me, including our advisor, Miss Oliva. Outside of school, we have fundraisers such as bake sales, which allow us to go on trips to help us better understand our Hispanic culture.
Hello, my name is Royal Miller, and I am the president of the Student Democrat Alliance, also known as SBOD. I am among 3 officers, as well as Mrs. Cedric, who is our advisor. Within the school, we spread information about the LGBTQIA plus community to open-minded people who would like to be open to that information. And outside of school, we hold unity meets. We hold these either at the school or when the weather allows, we hold them at Woodcock. And we not only spread our awareness of the LGBTQIA plus community within the school, but with holding the unity meets, we spread that information countywide.
Hi, my name is Kathy Singh. I am president of Student Council. Student Council consists of myself and 4 other officers and our advisor, Ms. Thomas. Student Council represents the student body as a whole and initiates incentives that teachers and students can partake in, such as the dodgeball tournament, blood drives, and pen assemblies. Student Council also hosts activities outside of school, such as the spring play, homecoming, and spaghetti dinners for the community.
Hi, my name is Quincy Zook. I'm the president of the Robotics Club. The club consists of me and our advisor, Mr. George Nahay. In school, we use a robotics classroom to design our bots, and then out of school, we actually work on the bot, putting it together and taking it to the robots competition in Meadville.
Hi, I'm Paisley Mangold, editor-in-chief of the Panther Press, Sagertown's award-winning news media program.
And I'm Josie Dieter, design editor. The Panther Press is on its 16th year of informing and entertaining the Sagertown community. We have 23 journalists on staff, and our advisor is Mrs. Hetrick. We publish our newspaper several times a year.
We also do a weekly bathroom publication, The Panther Paw, and keep the community up to date with our social media accounts. You can follow us at Panther Press, SHS, and pantherpress.com. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paige Fuller. I'm the president of the National Honor Society. It's myself who work with 3 other officers and our 2 advisors, Mrs. Woods and Mrs. Howard. Inside the school community, we organize fundraisers such as Penny Wars and Happy Hammer Day to fund our club. And outside of school, we volunteer in the community wherever we're needed.
I'm Royal Miller, and I am president of the Sagertown High School branch of the PENNCREST HiQ team. HiQ is an academic quiz bowl competition that takes questions from 14 different categories. I am one of 3 club officers with Mrs. Cedric as our club advisor. We are one of many schools in Pennsylvania, as well as 5 other states in the country that hold these quiz bowl competitions.
Mr. Young, Mr. Baker, anything else?
Yeah, that was all done by the students in Mr. Nay's multimedia class, and I think it turned out really well. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll make sure we put that up on the website. Congratulations to all of our students. We are extremely proud of you, and we can't wait to see more of your accomplishments. I'm going to take a pause. We'll pause for a minute here. You guys can head out the back unless you want to stay. So I'll give you a minute. Some of you, I'll give you a little bit longer. Thank you so much for representing our school community so well. We don't have any registered citizens' comments on agenda items, but are there any citizens here that would like to make comments on agenda items? We'd have 2 minutes. Education, item A, recommend approval of the attached 2022 graduates.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item B, recommend approval of the attached business textbooks.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item C, approve the attached affiliation agreement with Slippery Rock University.
Yeah, committee, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item D, approve to operate and fund and staff the ESSER STARS Term 2 summer program as discussed.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item E, approve the attached PA Friends of Agriculture Foundation Mobile Ag Science Lab.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
We have a
I would
motion and a
also like
second.
to say this is awesome to see this back in PENNCREST. This has been something that I'm sad
We
we
have-
haven't had more of this.
We have a motion and a second.
Yep.
Discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item F, recommend approval of the attached resources and materials in accordance with Policy 109.
All right. As far as this recommendation from the administration, I'd like to let the board know that you have a couple of choices. I didn't get a chance to read, to go over and check what's involved, except for one item. So the choice you have is to approve or disapprove the motion, or you can table the motion. But before we put a motion on the floor, I'd like to have the superintendent give us some information of what we are approving on this list. Would you please go ahead?
Yeah, we're approving a variety of donated books. The top by the Grief Sensitivity Schools Initiative. That is pretty much the first 6 items. The last 3 items on the list are speakers. In accordance with Policy 109, the board approves speakers. The Bucktails Historical Reenactment, the Birds of Prey presentation, and Rihanna Check, guest speaker at Sagertown High School, Run for Something presentation.
I am opposed to Rihanna Check on the last one. She's running for office right now. It's a transgender man that says he's a woman that is going to speak there. And it would be a completely different thing if it was.
Mr. Velez, can you hold on until we have a motion and a second? If you have any specific question for the superintendent, if you need more information, fine.
Fair enough.
Okay? Now, it's your choice what you want to do. The floor is open for a motion.
Motion we table it for now.
Okay. We have a motion to table. Do we have a second? Do we have a
I
second?
don't think we should table the whole thing.
Discussion?
Why would we table the whole thing? The birds of prey presentation, why would we table that?
It's the same with the bucktail.
Bucktail's historical reenactment, why would we table that?
And in all the books, like, it seems like
Yeah.
there's one thing that there might be an objection to by one board member.
Okay.
You're trying to group everything in, if there's an objection with the,
Well, is there a motion? Okay, let's put it this way. The third motion is if we remove anything, but first we have to vote for or against the table. And then if it doesn't pass, we proceed with the next options.
Who seconded?
Okay. Huh?
Who seconded?
But
Mr. Johnston.
all right, roll call. This is a motion to table the approval of the of the recommended administration recommendation of books. I don't know, it's...
In its entirety? In its entirety?
Yeah, it's entirety.
Luigi, can we make another motion then on this following?
Once we vote on this motion, then if it fails, then we proceed, okay?
Mr. Brooks?
No.
Mr. Brown?
no.
Ms. Kroll?
Policy 109 to table. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Ms. Davis?
No.
Mr. G. Francesco?
100%
Mr. G.
Luigi.
Francesco? Yes or no?
no.
Mr. Johnston?
No.
No? Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Valesky?
No.
What'd you say?
No.
No? Mr. Vogt?
No.
2 noes, or 2 yeses, the rest are noes.
Now, the next choice you have is anyone here to make a motion to remove any recommended?
I have a motion to remove Brianna Check because she's a political candidate and there's nobody to counter her speech.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Who second?
So to
We have a
clarify,
motion and a second, a discussion.
Well, clarification, we're motioning to accept the first 8, but not the last one, or I couldn't hear what Brian said.
Motion to remove Brianna Check
No,
from the
remove.
list.
the motion would be
Okay.
remove, Brandon Check, and then vote on the rest of them will be a separate motion. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay? Any discussion?
I'm not sure why, like, I think that we could invite, if the concern is not another voice, we could ask the club to invite other people running for the same position. If other people were to run, they could do the same thing, we have the same opportunity.
My concern is if this was a person holding an office and they were coming in to give information on legal stuff, from a politician's standpoint, not to insert personal beliefs and how they could further the political realm, that would be a totally different thing. But this is a candidate running for office, and the school should not be the place for that person, that it should not be that person's pedestal. And so that's why I'm opposed to it.
Can I just provide some clarity on what my understanding is? So my understanding is that this individual was coming as a candidate for the state senate to encourage civic engagement. It was also in the minutes of the actual organization that the students were interested in inviting this candidate to speak during Lunch Plus, which is like an activity type period. So I just wanted to make sure that it was understood that that was the intention of bringing the speaker.
So this was a club led by the students that brought this up and voted on it. This is who they chose as their speaker.
Yes.
Anybody else?
However, if you do go to her page, run for something, the whole definition of that is completely slanted, and that being the title, I won't approve it.
Could we offer her opponent to come in? Would that be?
No, I still don't believe that'd be fair. If it was an office holder, that would be a different thing, but these are people running for political stances.
If they're holding an office, they're still running.
They're running, yes, they're not they're not.
Right, so they're citizens now, but if they were still running for office and they're elected, then they still would be in a campaign.
Yeah, they're not elected officials.
Just address the chair when your turn comes, if you want to be recognized, okay? Do you want to be recognized, Mr. Brooks?
No, I think we got to sort it out.
Okay.
I would like.
Well, my only comment is this. Do you want to?
Jen just said she
Yes,
wants.
please.
Go ahead.
I think at the very least, the last speaker requires more conversation. And I would hate to lose the opportunity for our students to see the bucktails and for the birds of prey. I mean, we're getting close to the end of the school year. So I would hate to see those things not be voted on this evening. And maybe we need more conversation for the last. I just don't think we have enough information for those on.
Those two are included, am I correct, though? We're not removing those two.
Well, you got to make sure you ask to be recognized, okay? All right. My final comment is this. The school it should not be, in my personal opinion, it should be a place to promote any candidates. I understand, that most of the students are not even 18 years old, and they won't be able to vote. However, the good point that Mr. Brooks brought up probably would have been a good idea if somebody else, he had somebody else together. But as far as civics, that should be taught in school from the beginning. Now, we don't need somebody from outside, especially a political candidate that shows up, to teach our kids what we're supposed to teach them. And that's why I have really, I'm opposed to this guy to show up, because he's a candidate running for us right now.
I think it's just disrespectful is how we talk about this, just for the record. Like, I don't understand why that needs to be the point of this, for you to make the point to say this guy and things like that. If the issue that is transgender, then say that's what it is. If the issue that is political candidate, then say what that is and just be honest about it. For me, this is student-led. This is what the students in this club want to see, and if we as the government want to silence it, then that's what we're voting for, and we should be honest as why we're doing it.
Well, Mr. Brooks, thanks for asking to be recognized. And my final word is that I doubt very much there was the kids that chose these candidates. But anyway,
why do you doubt that? Mr. President, why are you making that accusation? That's based on
what? You're out of order, Mr. Brooks, okay?
No, you made an accusation.
You're out of order.
Mr. President, you made an accusation. What was it based on?
You're out of order.
What was it based on? Why would you say that? There's minutes that show it. There's the students said it. So why would you make that accusation?
Let's go take a roll call.
I don't understand why you need to make stuff up.
This is the motion to remove Mr. Brooks.
No.
Mr. Brown.
I'm still trying to research this whole thing, but listening to these immature people on this stage is just embarrassing as hell. We're worried about this candidate when we have this nonsense going on up here. Right now, it's no, because I'm still trying to figure this all out.
Ms. Kroll.
Ms. Kroll, would you say that again, please? No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Davis.
Can someone clarify for me exactly what we're voting for?
Motion to
I can't
remove.
hear.
Voting to remove
the particular
Yes.
check.
Mr. G. Francesco.
Yes.
Mr. Johnston.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch.
Yes.
Mr. Valesky.
Yes.
Mr. Vogt. 6-3, yeses.
Motion to remove the individuals passed. Now, the next motion is to approve the rest of the list. Do we have a motion to approve the rest of the list? Do we have a
Mr.
second?
Johnston? Mr. Johnston? Okay. Second?
Second, Lynch? Yep.
Okay.
Discussion? We already had discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Motion approved.
Facilities and Transportation Report. Recommend approval to approve the attached GG&C final contract and appendices. Or appendices. So moved.
Second. Do we have a motion?
Who's second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Treasurer's Report. Item A. Recommend approve the attached Treasurer's Reports.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Recommend approval of the payment of the attached disbursements.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item C. Resolve the PENNCREST Board of School Directors approve the attached proposed preliminary 22-23 general fund operating budget and millage rates, and to authorize the business manager to prepare the PD 2028 budget document.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Questions? Wow, that's the first time this happened. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? No objections. Motion approved.
Item D. Recommend approval of the attached 22-23 food service management company agreement and budget with Nutrition Incorporated.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a motion and a second?
Who's second?
Lynch.
Lynch.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item E. Recommend approval to exonerate the district's elected tax collectors from collecting the delinquent 21-22 real estate and per capita taxes as attached.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Recommend approval of the attached agreement with Governor Software Services to print the 2022 real estate and per capita tax bills.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item G. Recommend approval of the service purchase contracts for medical services rendered for the 22-23 school year.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item H. Recommend approval of the attached agreement with Woodring LLC.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
You have to abstain. Yeah, probably. I work for him, so.
Okay, yeah. We'll leave it not for extension, sign the paper.
Mr. Johnson's going to abstain.
From
The vote.
Woodbury.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Personnel report, item A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. We're going to approve as a consent agenda.
We have to make some.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And discussions? questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
New business, item A, approve the attached temporary shelter agreement with Crawford County Care Center.
So moved. Second.
We have motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item B, recommend approve the attached PSBA 22-23 membership renewal and policy maintenance program participation agreement.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
We have motion and a second. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Item C, there are first reading of several policies. There may be 2 or 3 readings of these policies before approval. The committee met prior to discuss the drafts, and we still have some additional work to do. So they're up there for review. Item E, executive session on May 9 and 12 for personnel negotiations. Citizens' comments on non-agenda items. Mary Stainbrook.
That would be me. Good evening, Dr. Glasspool and esteemed school board members. I'm a retired PENNCREST educator, a lifelong district president, and proud mother of 2 Sagertown High School students. In fact, I have huge kudos to go out to Mrs. Hedrick as being very instrumental in my son's journalism. I have a huge respect for our teachers, and I know how hard they work honing their craft while attempting to meet the educational needs of each child who has been entrusted to their care. Be that as it may, to my shame, I've only recently taken an active interest in the actions and responsibilities of our school district. So I'm making my way through the district policies and attending meetings as I can. As you probably remember, I attended Monday night's working board meeting, and although we were asked if anyone from the floor had any questions, I was taken aback. For my mind was flooded with questions and concerns, hence my knee-jerk reaction the next morning, resulting in this presentation being entitled Concern for Caution. Since I made my request and beginning to read through the district policies, many of the questions have been answered. Also, I am more fully aware of my role as a district stakeholder along with you. Still, I have some questions, so this presentation might better be entitled Inquiring Minds Want to Know. First, I want to thank you, Dr. Glasspool, for recommending that the library book request list approval be postponed and researched for funding and recommendation sources. Perhaps point of view balance may be considered also. And second, I appreciated Mr. Newman's detailed curriculum update. I like knowing where we're going and how we plan to get there. But now for my remaining questions. Regarding the new social studies curriculum, has each member of the board been informed as to its contents, its scope, its sequence? Do you know what it's all about? My concern there then goes to regarding the Penn State teacher development training. What specifically are the difficult topics that teachers will be trained to address? Is the board fully informed as to what those topics are? Will the topics be approached in a non-biased fashion so as to not disparage PENNCREST parent and community values? I wonder Will our teachers be permitted to opt out of the above Penn State training without threat of repercussions, being offered an alternative course? I'd also like to know, are parents and district taxpayers be permitted to audit this teacher training at their own expense? I do apologize for taking so long in processing my thoughts, and for your patience in listening to what I have to say tonight. I am learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Hello. I know I was here earlier, and I'd like to let you know that I'm speaking on my own behalf rather than the press's. I know I'm still wearing the shirt. Sorry. However, I came here to talk about the books that were tabled, but now I have some other issues I'd like to talk about. Every single one of our students, I am repulsed and disgusted about what you have said. We all agreed on that speaker. Every single one of us voted, not one of us disagreed. Every single one of us in that club. And I'd like to say that I do not believe this is a political issue. If it was, you would bring in another speaker, or you would bring in the other side, or you would let them both speak. But because this is a transgender woman, you have decided that they cannot speak. And I'm very disgusted about that. Because just because you do not think that transgender people exist or can be the gender they want to be and are, does not mean we don't. It does not mean that we think the same as you do. And I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm going to say that tabling the books and deciding that they are not welcome in any library is censorship. And censorship is the keeping of knowledge. We go to school to learn. If you think that a book is going to change our thinking, you are not afraid of the book. You are afraid of us thinking. And that is what a student is supposed to do. Thank you for your time.
I would also like to speak. The blatant.
Just real quick, Miss, I'm sorry. Could you just give us your name?
Catherine Edwards.
Thank you.
Hi. I am a resident of the district. I am a proud mother of a high school student and soon-to-be high school student. Okay? I just really want you people to look at yourselves. You are the governing body of this school who stand up and tell our children that there's no bullying. Okay, and you shouldn't bully people, and bullies are bad. What I have seen, the conduct that you have done, not only is this not important enough to silence your phone, okay, but to blatantly misgender somebody, ma'am, is just, it's hitting below the belt, all right? If you had an actual leg to stand on, if you had something other than pure bigotry on your mind, then you would be able to phrase it in a way that wasn't disparaging to a person, that didn't border. It's hate. I don't know what you people are so afraid of, and I don't know what you think you're hiding from your children, because if you don't teach them in ways that you're comfortable with, in language that you are comfortable with, if you don't teach them how you see the world and a full view of that, you're doing them a disservice. And frankly, I don't care if you do your children a disservice. Don't do it to mine. Oh, and I would also like to say that the New York Public Library has made a stance on banned books. And if you guys choose not to include them here in your libraries, that's okay. If you go to their website, you can download under Android or iOS systems the books banned here.
Thanks, Ms. Edwards.
Yes, you have a great day.
Any other speakers on non-agenda items?
Stacy Hedrick, Sagertown resident. I would just like to take a moment to apologize to Rhea Check, who is in the auditorium tonight, for having to listen to the hate speech from one of the board members. It is completely unacceptable. Representation matters. These kids need to see people who are living full and productive lives who reflect who they are. I am appalled at that speech. I am appalled at this decision for the board, and I'm also mighty upset about the possible accusation that somehow this speaker came from someone other than the kids. Look at the meeting notes. You are now taking away a representative of their community from coming to talk to them. Rhea, I am so sorry. I am so incredibly sorry right now. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Any other citizens' comments?
Good evening. My name is Marcy Dixon. I'm a resident of Cambridge Springs. I wanted to talk about the resource list in the interview or the article in the newspaper today. As a kid who struggled to find her place among my peers, I have always found comfort and strength in books. To me, books are almost a sacred thing. And I have two children who have graduated from the Cambridge Springs school system and the PENNCREST School District, and I couldn't be more proud of that. One of the books referenced today was Nevertheless Be Persistent, 48 Voices of Defiance, Strength, and Courage. This is a collection of essays that speak to each writer's first-hand experience with a myriad of issues. If you deny kids access to this book because of one essay by Patrice Collars, then you are denying them the ability to learn that they can use their talents and abilities as a means of dealing with childhood trauma and any other thing that they might be working through. You're also denying them the ability of learning about a college basketball player who, due to a car accident, was on life support and left paralyzed, yet he overcame every obstacle to not only embrace life, but to travel all over the globe, putting sports programs in countries ravaged by war. That doesn't sound racist to me. Or the story of a young immigrant girl who was set back a year in school because she couldn't read when she came here, yet she went on to be the first in her family to graduate from college. There are plenty of other stories like that in these books, in just this one book from the resource list, stories that are inspiring, uplifting, not racist, and don't encourage racism. The Tribune article also mentioned having books in our libraries about American patriots who fought slavery. I agree, although I think there are probably books about Abraham Lincoln, John Brown, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Harriet Tubman, and plenty of other patriots who fought against slavery in the libraries, and those books are easily accessible to every kid. I don't have to tell you that there are plenty of kids who don't fit in at school. They're math nerds, theater geeks, welfare kids. We've all heard the colloquialisms. There are thousands of books that allow all kids to find someone like themselves in situations like their own. And when that happens, it can be comforting and empowering. Please don't take that opportunity away from them. And remember, if we ban books written by men named Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John because people were offended by their perceived content, where would we turn to learn about the life that I believe can be available to each of us? My main question when I read the Tribune article was, has anyone on the school board actually read the list of books? I would hope the answer to that question is yes, because if it is no, and you vote to deny kids access to these books, then you are allowing your own personal bias to form policy that affects the diversity of this school district. And in doing so, you cheapen it. Thank you.
Any other citizens?
I do have a few comments, seeing as I'm no longer on the agenda tonight. I came here tonight to answer any and all questions you may have about this. I was going to provide my credentials so that you knew this was not a political agenda.
My first credential is that I am a field organizer, and I was going to talk to the students about being a field organizer in politics, which could lead into their future. Something as a job that they can do, which is what we're here to prepare our students for, correct? I'm also somebody who got my petition signatures together, 500 of them. I'm sure you all can appreciate that because you are all elected officials, minus you, Superintendent. And I was going to explain to them that process because running for office is hard enough without having the information to do it. But I also had a presentation prepared as a member of this community to show them what it's like to organize in today's society, whether it be using digital technology, whether it be using people or getting everyone else together to come to a common goal, which is a different way of seeing it than what our colleges are teaching today. And I'm appalled at how you would treat somebody who ran and is running for office. Just to sit here and have to listen to your unkind words, you should be ashamed. You represent the public. I've never once, and paraphrasing some of the words out of your own mouths, you have never seen Michelle Brooks standing here to justify what she does. But I, when asked, decided to come because I know that some of you are going to take this and turn it into a political issue. So I came here to tell you that's not what this is. But you turned it into a political issue.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments this evening? Board member remarks?
Mr. Gold, you want to start?
Sure. Just want to thank all the students that came out today and for the presentation. As a parent who doesn't have kids in high school, it's nice to see what's going on in these clubs in our district. I appreciate that. I guess that's it for me.
Pretty much like to echo the same thing that Matt did. It was nice to see everyone here tonight, and congratulations to everyone. Some pretty cool things happening there. And that's about all I've really got for tonight.
I'd like to congratulate all the students that won awards. It's amazing. Thank you, Mr. Baker and Mr. Young, for your presentation. Appreciate that. Just everybody have a safe month.
Mrs. Crowe? Ms. Crowe?
Ms. Crowe, any comments this evening? Thank you so much.
Mrs. Davis?
Well, I definitely do want to thank and congratulate all the students that presented with awards and who represented our district so well this year, and appreciate the time that they took to come out. Sorry, I try not to get emotional up here, but sometimes when I'm angry, I cry, and that's not good. So I'm embarrassed, and I would like to apologize to anyone who felt disrespected here tonight. That is not what we as a school board were elected to do. And when I am a part of a board of individuals that doesn't conduct themselves in a way that is respectful at the very least, it's frustrating to me. I don't think any of us claim to agree about, let's say, half the topics we discuss. But if we cannot be respectful to each other, to our teachers, to our staff, to our students, there's a problem. And this week we have shown that more than once. Mr. Valesky the other evening brought up questions about books that he had a right to question. Those books come across our table for approval because we as a district have a policy that says that books need to be approved. So we have a responsibility to look those over. The minute he did, we had huffing and puffing and rolling of eyes. He has a right to ask questions. So we tabled it. We tabled something tonight. But when it crosses the line now to, we need someone to review this, we need to discuss it, what's the word I'm looking for, that we need a whole panel to discuss these things. To me, that's so disrespectful to our staff. We have a panel to discuss these things. We hired them. If we don't trust them, we have bigger problems. So I just would like to ask the board to please, can we try to remember balance? I know we have different opinions. I know that's the beauty of a board. That's why we have these conversations, but we need to get back to being respectful and appreciative of the people who put their time and energy, whether they're paid or elected, and stop embarrassing ourselves up here on stage.
Thank you. Bruce.
Great to see so many kids here. I thought it was spectacular to see someone win an award for aesthetics for the movie Inside Out. I thought that's a spectacular film, and the work that they did, I don't know if everyone got to see what she did, but it was great. It's great seeing all the other people. It's seeing all these kids from Sagertown that I've known, one of the wrestlers here was the best quarterback that I've ever coached in flag football. It's great to see these kids have opportunities to succeed, that the board's providing some of those. It's great to see Loren here. She's super talented. I've tried to give her some money for some of her artwork. My son doesn't always deliver it on time. He's more of the slacker in that situation than Loren. But I really do appreciate her and what she adds to our community. When I look at some of these things on policy 109, I look at our policy and what we expect from our staff members. It's to place principle above personal opinion and reason above prejudice. And I don't see that with what I heard up here. And we want to address various sides of controversial issues so the students can have the opportunity to develop under guidance the practice of critical analysis and make informed judgments in their daily lives. This is the policy we all agreed to as a board, and if we're asking our staff to follow these policies, we should as a board also follow these policies. Lastly, I know Maplewood already had their prom. Other kids going to prom, be careful and be safe. We've made it really far into the year. You guys have shown us tonight how spectacular you all are, and I appreciate all of it. Thank you.
Lynch?
I wanted to again congratulate all the students that won the awards on journalism. I thought there was quite a few. It was more involved than I thought it was. The girls wrestling, I'm glad to see that's taking off. I think it's pretty interesting to see what they have to contend with to compete. It's not really like a large group like the other wrestling is, boys wrestling and such. And I was surprised to find out all the different clubs that we have available for everybody. Somebody should be able to find something they're interested in. The thing about censorship is there are some topics that are not appropriate for all ages of kids. Some topics that are good for seniors aren't good for 7th grade. So making different resources restricted to those students, I think, is more important. And you were talking about the cell phone. That was actually a medical alert thing for one of the people up here. So we all silence our phones when we're up here because we don't want to be embarrassed by that. That's all I got.
Well, this is my favorite time of year with the graduating classes. I look forward to handing out diplomas every year. I guess that's my bonus I look at for being on the school board. So congratulations to all our seniors this year. They've had a tough couple of years. They persevered. It's time for their next chapter in life, and I look forward to seeing that and hearing the stories of what they're going to do next. I had a few things I wanted to say, but this meeting just turned into a little disappointment, to be honest with you. This board, the two members of this board is embarrassing. And I don't care who I make mad anymore because I just don't care. Censorship, you made a point about censorship. Your definition was wrong. Censorship is, we're like on the line, you know. And I'm proud to admit I'm a President Trump fan. And when Twitter censored him, I was upset. But what we just did here is no better. I'm against LGBTQ, whatever it is now. But they're still human beings and they deserve our respect. And just like we all do. And this was disrespectful. This was censorship. I just can't believe we did what we did. I know the books, we have a right to look at the books, we should look at the books. I did not personally go through every book. I'm not going to either. I have to have faith in the staff, the people recommending the books, that the books are going to be age appropriate. I have a life, I have a full-time job. For me to sit down and go through 3 pages of books, not going to happen. If there is something that needs to be addressed, like Mr. Gillespie brought up, then we should address that, and I'm fully on board with that. But if the student body voted on something, even though I don't agree with that person, or I'm not behind what that person stands for, that's still, I think we crossed the line there. And the behavior last month and the behavior this month of this board, you know, I have to challenge Luigi. You've got to, if you're going to make rules, we have to stand by the same rules every month. Every month, the rules seem to change a little bit. If it's something you agree with, you let some things go on. If it's something you disagree with, you pound the hammer up there. This is not a professional board anymore, and it's not getting any better. The stuff I see, my people show me these Facebook posts from several people on this board, very unadult-like, very, very unprofessional, calling each other names. Just, come on, guys, we're adults. Let's freaking act like it for once. If you don't like something that somebody writes, move on. You don't have to respond to it. Delete them, don't follow them. My God, grow up. Like I said, I don't care who I make mad. I've only got like 18 more of these meetings and I'm done. And the main reason I'm done is because of the behavior of people on this board. I encourage anybody out there next year, you can run, get your stuff together, get on the ballot next year. This seat will be open. Some others will be challenged. I think it's time for a lot of change on this board. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you. I don't know if I have the strength to say anything, but I'll try. You know, I remember back, I started my life in the United States in the 50s. And I can tell you, those were beautiful days. I lived in a neighborhood that everybody, never integrated. There was Italians, Irish, blacks. We were all together, and we respect each other, and when we got away, we got well, very, very well. Until one day, my good friends, in this particular case, were black kids that went to school together. All of a sudden, they move out of the neighborhood. And I can, you know, most of us could figure out why they're moving. Well, today, I understand why all the blacks move out of the white, so-called white neighborhood and form their own neighborhoods. Why? Because it was political power. Somebody knew that will be created political power, and they did. It's fine. This is beauty of the United States. The United States is a beautiful country. Our liberty goes beyond anything everybody ever managed. We even have people that they want to change their sex. It's fine. Some people don't like it, but that's the way it is. We're a country where liberty abounds. And Americans have the right to do whatever they want, unless somebody, the government imposes some restrictions, like staying home and get locked up for a year. As far as this board, there's rules to conduct meetings, Mr. Brown, and the rules should be followed. Now, I haven't been very lax because most of you people are used to that, to talk with each other. You never try to be recognized by the chair, and the meeting's been very lax. See, somebody else is trying to get into it. So there's no change of rule. The rules are already written in the rules of Roberts. But unfortunately, no matter how many times we go to get trained how to follow those rules, some people seem not to pay attention. But this is not a grammar school, you know, that we get people, the kids punished for not doing what they're supposed to do. But we all can get together and work together. And that's what we should do. That's why Americans survived so many wars, so many pandemics, so many problems. And as far as the invited candidate from a separate district, from another county, to talk to the kids of Crawford County in PENNCREST, yes, if the students decide to do that, well, that's fine. But I don't think that this school should have any politicians on their own show up and express their political opinions. Now, if the students would like to have a debate between candidates, that's something the board can look up and see if we can do that. But it's time to stay together. What bothers me about what's happened in this country is what happened lately with the Supreme Court. If a group don't like the decision that the board makes or the Supreme Court makes, they go out there and start threatening and harassing people. That is not right. It's very un-American. And the same people they worry about destroying the democracy are the ones that they're doing it. This country is not ruled by mobs. It's ruled by the law and the rules. The rules the majority usually sets so the people can follow. This is America. So the best thing we can do is to get together. You do your life the way you please because you're allowed to. But everybody, the opponents, those who you consider to be opponents, have the same right. And that's undeniable. Well, my mouth is getting dry, so I'll let go. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved. Second.
All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is